Hey YouTubers, welcome to the Cyber Overwatch channel. I am Pragmatic1. In this video, I will be doing a walkthrough of the OffSec Proving Grounds Kevin vulnerable host. I will provide a walkthrough of reconnaissance through post-exploitation. This will include performing port scanning, service enumeration, default credential testing, and buffer overflow. If you find this content informative and you are interested in cybersecurity, please like and subscribe to the Cyber Overwatch channel. Also, for more free content, please regularly check back on www.cybersec.com. Kevin is a vulnerable host created by OffSec to allow users to practice ethical hacking techniques. This vulnerable host suffers from identification and authentication failures, buffer overflow, and security misconfiguration. This virtual machine is accessible from OffSec Proving Grounds Virtual Training Lab. I went ahead and started my target host Kevin. As shown on the screen, it now has an IP. Now that the target host has an IP, I will proceed with active information gathering. This typically involves conducting port scans and service enumeration. I often rely on Nmap as my preferred tool for active information gathering in these labs. I'll run the following Nmap command shown in the CLI. I will perform a comprehensive scan of all 65,535 ports using the -p- switch to identify open ports and services potentially running on them. Based on the output from Nmap, there appears to be a good amount of information that was gained. When I look at the Nmap scan results, Nmap detected several open ports such as port 80 HTTP, port 135, port 139, NetBIOS, port 445, SMB, port 3389 RDP, and several MSRPC ports. Based on this information, it looks like it's very likely that the target host is running Windows 7. Besides the information, I can see that the target host is named Kevin, it's in a workgroup as opposed to domain joined, and it's hosting a web app called HP Power Manager. Just with the Nmap scan, I was able to gather a lot of good information to start with. If I scroll down and further review the results of the Nmap scan, there's even more information corroborating that the host is a Windows 7 system, it's in a workgroup, and the host name is Kevin. I'll run enum4linux as shown in the CLI to try to verify some information gathered by Nmap. Running enum4linux, I was able to verify that the host is named Kevin, is in a workgroup, and it looks like null sessions are possible. Let's check out port 80. Browsing to the webpage on port 80 of the target host brings me to the HP Power Manager login page. One of the first things I do when assessing a web app is review the page source. Unfortunately, I did not find anything interesting. I want to check for low-hanging fruit. I googled HP Power Manager default credentials. I found a HP Power Manager user guide that mentions the default username and password is admin. Sure enough, the default credentials allowed me to log in as the admin account. Under the help tab, I can see that the version of HP Power Manager is 4.2 build 7. Looking at the application logs, it looks like there were several attempts to run a buffer overflow on the host. I'll run searchsploit using the following command shown on the CLI to see if there are any exploits available locally for HP Power Manager. After running searchsploit, it came back with some results. Reviewing them, I think the exploit that notes universal buffer overflow will probably be the best option to try first. I ran the searchsploit command shown on the CLI. The output shows information regarding the exploit, and searchsploit also transferred a copy of the exploit to the directory I'm currently in. In this case, it is the /downloads folder. When I do an ls-la, you can see the exploit in the folder. Now that the exploit is in the downloads folder, I'll need to review it to see how the exploit works and if there's anything I will need to modify. At the beginning of the exploit, you can see some comments showing the creators of this particular exploit as well as what appears to be the expected output that should be received upon successfully executing the exploit. Further down in the code, there are more comments noting that a shellcode will need to be generated with MSF Venom using the documented bad characters. Based on reviewing the exploit code, I will run the following MSF Venom command shown in the CLI to generate my shellcode for the exploit. -p is for the payload, which will be a reverse shell that once executed will reach back to my Kali. lhost is my Kali's IP. lport will be the port I will run my listener on. -b will contain the bad characters noted in the exploit code. -e is for encoders, and I will be using x86/alpha_mixed as noted in the exploit code. --platform is set to Windows because the target host is running Windows based on host enumeration. -f is for format, and I selected C. Running the MSF Venom command, you can see the shellcode it created. I just need to copy the shellcode to the exploit code. I'll just copy everything that has quotes. I copied my shellcode from the MSF Venom output and pasted it in between the parentheses after the noob text, then saved my modified exploit. Now that I made the necessary changes to my exploit, I can test the exploit out. Before I do, I started my netcat listener using the command shown in the CLI. With my listener running, I ran the command shown in the CLI to execute my exploit. Checking on my netcat listener, I can see that I caught a shell. It looks like I am currently in the /windows/system32 folder. I ran the whoami command and the output showed I was system. Getting system pretty much means the target host has been owned. If this was a domain joined system, the next steps would be to enumerate the host further in an attempt to escalate to a domain account. Now that I am system, I can access any user account. I'll need to do some enumeration in order to locate the flags. I changed directories to the /user folder using the command shown in the CLI, as in most cases the flags are located within the user accounts. Running the dir command, I can see 3 accounts: administrator, Kevin, and public. The only user accounts I am interested in are the administrator and Kevin accounts. I first ran the following dir command shown in the CLI to locate the local.txt file within the users folder in all subdirectories. The asterisk will search for all files beginning with local and ending with .txt extension. The -s lists every occurrence of the specified file name within the specified directory in all subdirectories. The -p displays one listing at a time. The -r will display alternate data streams. Unfortunately, no local.txt file was found. I'll run the following command shown in the CLI to look for the proof.txt file within the users folder in all subdirectories. Reviewing the output, I can see where the proof.txt file is located. There is another proof.txt file that was also found. I ran the following command shown in the CLI to view the contents of the proof1.txt file. After running the command, I can see the hash. I ran the following command shown in the CLI to view the contents of the proof.txt file. After running the command, I can see the hash, and I have completed the host. In conclusion, using a variety of techniques, I was able to go from reconnaissance to gaining system privileges on the target host. Performing these steps allowed me to gather the information I needed in order to gain a foothold on the target host through the use of a buffer overflow on the HP Power Manager application. Upon gaining access, performing further enumeration, I realized I already had system on the target host and I was able to access the proof.txt flag. One thing to keep in mind is the target host Kevin is not a typical vulnerable lab host where there is a local and proof file. This only had a proof file, which is probably due to this host being vulnerable to a buffer overflow that once exploited got you system. Thank you for tuning in to this demonstration of OffSec Proving Grounds Kevin vulnerable host. Thank you for also checking out Cyber Overwatch channel. If you find this content informative and you are interested in cybersecurity, please like and subscribe to the Cyber Overwatch channel. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave a question in the comments, or you can send me a message from the CyberSec website listed in the description. Until next time, keep learning. The only way to improve is to keep learning. Pragmatic1 signing off.